Okay, welcome to the Inspire Beautiful Team call. It is Wednesday, May 6th. We have a leadership roundtable tonight, which we haven't done one of these. I think we did like a new coach kind of Q&A recently, and probably in 2020, but I'm super excited. This was Kelly's idea. So props to you, Kel. Thank you for this. Of course, we're going to go through a couple housekeeping items, but today my corporate rep, my corporate mentor from Beachbody messaged me and he asked me what my team name is for recognition. And I was like, I've been very curious how team names get input into Beachbody. So probably getting everything set for Summit and for our team to be recognized as a premier team, because we hit premier last year. So that will get recognized at this virtual Summit, whatever's happening. So super exciting. And then of course we will be elite next year. That is our push goal right now. All right. So a couple housekeeping items, really nothing new here. I'm going to reiterate some things that were on the Run Wild Hustle Shine call last night. If you did not catch Alyssa last night on the Run Wild Hustle Shine call, please make that a priority. She is a new coach. She just hit Diamond and she's absolutely slaying. She just spit straight fire last night. She was so good. If you guys were on the call, I'm sure that you can attest to that. So please make that call a priority. As always, all the recording should be a priority, from Monday's National Wake Up Call, Tuesday's Run Wild calls, and then our calls, obviously. In the Run Wild Hustle Shine page, Mackenzie and Danielle are doing something new. It's a May Ring the Bell challenge. So every time that you sell a challenge pack, get a girl enrolled, you can go and do a little ring the bell and we will cheer you on. If this is something that we end up really liking, we can implement it in our team page. I just didn't want to implement it at the same time that they did, and then you guys have to feel like you have to do it double. So we'll talk after this month and see if it's something that we would like to implement in our team page as a smaller community as well. Summer Strong Sale, $20 off all challenge packs. This is something that you should obviously be aware of. On Friday, I was super active in the team page. I gave you some invite ideas, follow-up ideas, and I uploaded 2 PDFs of my 2 email files of what I'm saying and prices and packages. Please be resourceful. Please look at this stuff and then reach out if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to help, especially if you're a new coach. Obviously, come to me for anything and everything. But check those out. It should be pretty straightforward, but I'm hoping that will help you. McSperry Energize is on May 18th. It launches. Too bad we cannot pre-order. I'm super excited about this. Just so you guys know, and this is about shipping. So shipping's super delayed. I've been saying that a lot. If you need products, order them ahead of time. I got my Energize order in. I don't know who I was sharing this with. And I got a bad batch of Energize. It's a thing that happens every once in a while. I've heard just from chatting with some the Sams that this has happened to them in the past, but I got a lemon order in. I tried it and it tasted smoky. Just weird, just a little bit different. John thought it smelled weird. I thought it tasted weird. I contacted customer service. They're shipping me a new one, but they did ship me a container and I have to send it back. Again, it's very rare for this to happen, but just so that you're aware, if this happens to any of your clients, it's just good. It's a quick, easy fix. But yeah, bummer, because I'm literally digging through the depths of, I was out in my car this morning looking in my glove box if I had any packets of Energize. That's the level that I'm at right now. Collagen sales going on from May 4th to May 11th. I put that in my weekly newsletter. You should be letting your clients know. You take advantage of the sale. I don't know if it's on sale for clients or for coaches even extra. I drink collagen every single day in my shakes. I think it helps my hair, skin, and nails, and I'm a big, big fan of it. My mom is even hooked on it. The last little note on here, and I talked about this in our leadership call on Monday that I had with the gals, bod groups. We know that they're a nightmare right now. We know that it's super hard. Whether or not you have a ton of clients in our bod groups or not, if you are a part of my bod group, please be active and engaging on everybody's posts, no matter if they're your clients or not. what I'm finding with bod groups is there's a big lack of community in there right now because all the posts are getting like weirdly filtered. And I don't like it when I go track my workout. I can't write like a big long thought and process. It's just like logging the name of the workout. I don't want to do that. I want to talk about how I was feeling, how maybe I worked through a hard workout today. And it's just not there. They're working through everything. Beachbody's working through everything. Tonight, we're going to need to update the app. I'm 99% sure we're going to need to update the app. So just take a couple minutes whenever you go into bod groups in the day, set a timer, and please just go and love bomb on people, comment on people's stuff. We really want this group to be amazing. And you guys, this is our business. Like our boot camps, our accountability groups, that's the bread and butter of our business. And we need to be taking it really seriously. And if you're not running your own, I take mine really seriously. And so I expect that out of my coaches. So please just be mindful and please just be a helpful, inspiring light we have over 100 women in that group. And I say that with all the love in the world. I'm not calling anybody out for not being, I'm just noticing a big change and a big shift since we've transitioned into bod groups. Okay, moving on. Success Club updates. A little quiet because we are still in the first week of May. We've got Katie on the board at 8. She is in the club. We have myself at 6 in the club. Kelly and Kaylin are at 4, and Brittany H is at 2. Our April board was off the freaking charts. Like I was in tears making our April board, and I cannot wait to see at the end of May because I know we are going to far surpass what we did in April. And please, if you are looking at this board or looking at the April board and comparing yourself, stop it. Everybody's journey and timing is their own. Okay, so just stop comparing. Use other people's numbers and other people's success to say, if she can, I can. I hit Success Club 28 in April. In my Push Elite group that I'm in with Josh Coates, the highest Success Club earner in there hit Success Club 92. And there are only 30 women in there. There are about 30 women on our team. Success Club 92. And if I sat there and looked at her numbers, and like there were people in the 60s and the 50s, and I was at 28. I was not the highest one on the board by any means. If I sat there and I looked at that number and I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to get there. Come on, you guys. She's been coaching way longer. She's a 3-time elite coach. And I look at her, I'm like, badass. She has been working with Josh Coates for over 3 years and consistently putting in that daily effort. And you guys, I have not been consistent in my business for my entire 3.5 years. You know, I'm always honest with you. I have been really freaking consistent in my business for the last year and a half. I will be honest and say that to you, but I will never look at that number and use it as something to judge me. Instead, I use it as something to motivate me. And so I want you to do that with our team as well. And for my newer coaches on the call tonight, Success Club is our measure that we measure how many lives we help. So if we help one woman get started with her health and wellness journey, or guy, I guess, we don't really help many men, is equal to 2 Success Club points. So for example, Katie, she has 8, so she has helped 4 women this month. Okay, so now carrying on. So we are going to do a leadership roundtable tonight. Katie actually had something come up and she could not attend. And you guys, like, it's life. I'm never going to be mad. I'm never going to be upset. I know that Kaylin had a complete shit day today and she's still showing up and I so appreciate that. But life happens and I get that. So never be afraid to come to me with anything. She was like texting me these paragraphs and felt so bad, Katie, today. And I'm like, girlfriend, it's life. Like, it's okay. I know that if something were to come up for me, you guys would gladly take this on yourself. And that's our community in a nutshell. So Kelly had this idea and she's like, why don't we talk about like what's been working in our business? So on our leadership call that we had on Monday for all the girls who hit Success Club last month, we kind of brainstormed and I had these lovely ladies volunteer to share. And we're going to hear a wide range of, things about mindset, tactical things about social media. And the coolest thing is that we have coaches who are going to be talking tonight, like Brittany and Kelly, who have been with me for well over a year. But then we also have new coaches who are fresh in the business since 2020. And so I think it's going to paint like a really good picture of a wide range of businesses, and it's going to be super casual. If you have any questions or thoughts as they're talking, you can drop them in the chat. I'll field them. I have one person who's going to start. Kelly's going to start because this was her idea, so I'm putting her on the spot. And then we'll just kind of like ping pong, and it can be very conversational if you kind of want to piggyback off of one another. But I'm really excited. So Kelly, you want to start us off, girlfriend?
Yeah. Hello. Can you guys hear me okay? Perfect. Okay. I'm sorry. I look dirty because I got a spray tan, so don't don't judge me. So I'm just gonna talk to you guys a little bit about relating to, I have notes, so that's what I'm looking at. Relating to your audience beyond fitness and health. I think that it's super important to not be constantly like, oh, we do beach body workouts, or like we do workouts on the norm. Like when I go to somebody's Instagram page and they have a fitness logo or highlight, you can usually click on that and you can usually tell if they're like a Beachbody coach. A lot of times they'll have things that like, they might be wearing like a Beachbody tank top. They might have the Transform 20 step. So, there's going to be times where people are like, oh my gosh, I had no idea you were a Beachbody coach. But there's also going to be times where people are like, oh, like she's a Beachbody coach. So you don't want to just like bleed Beachbody coach, because that's gross and that's salesy, and like people don't like that. So you want to relate to your audience like beyond that, and talk about things that like they can actually relate to, and lead it up to that. So provide free knowledge. So just like some examples that I've really like been seeing like some great progress with over the past like few months is providing free knowledge. So I talked about a few weeks ago, I'm really passionate about like intermittent fasting. That's something I practice on the daily. And I asked my audience, I was like, would you guys be interested in like me making like an intermittent fasting guide or anything like that? And I got so many responses. Like normally like you'll put up a poll or something and you'll get, I don't even know, like I'll get like so little amount of responses on like a poll or something. And I put up like, would you guys be interested in like a free intermittent fasting guide, like something I throw together, super like not professional at all. Like I'm no expert, just something that like I practice with. And I got like over 100 responses of yes, I would be interested. So just providing like that free knowledge for people. And I've like been working on a little bit here and there, but it's not going to be anything crazy. It's going to be like a few page PDF, something that I maybe put a few hours of work into, and just provide that for free for people. Another thing is just the other day I talked about like mindless time on my stories. It was just something that I was sitting here and I was just like scrolling, and I was thinking about a lot of things in my life and like changes that I've gone through and like all this stuff, and like I wasn't being productive. And I talked about that on my stories because I was like, it was just something that was weighing heavy on my heart. And I signed up, the 2 people I signed up this month actually swiped up, and they were like, oh my gosh, I can relate to this so much. And that's how the conversation got started. So like people want to hear from you about other things, like they want to relate to you. Another good one is convo starters. So Janine, and I talked about this. She actually bought the toothbrush I posted on my Instagram stories. And so that's just like an easy way to like get people to connect with you. I'm really good about that too, with like tagging. Like I get a lot of questions about like my clothes or something, which I don't know why. Like I literally just found it on Amazon and get a lot of stuff from there. But people ask me, and it's just like a conversation starter. So people like swipe up and they'll be like, oh my gosh, where did you get that? Oh my gosh. So even if it's like as simple as you getting dressed and taking like a selfie in like a cute shirt that you really love, somebody might like want to know where you got that from. And it's a great conversation starter that you can lead up to like fitness and health and things like that. Also, you can always like tag influencers. Yeah, I need to stop reading the comments. I'm sorry. You can always tag like influencers or bloggers that you like. So the same influencer blogger that I go to like to follow people and like to grow my following, I have bought things from her because I love her, and like I'll tag her in it, and then like she's featured me before on her Instagram stories, and I gained a lot of followers through that. So that's another way to like engage with people. I've had a lot of conversations with girls like that, and they're like, oh my gosh, I actually followed you because I saw you on Allie Green's story. And I'm just like, okay. So that's an easy way. So like tag people and things. You might be featured and you can gain like followers that way too. And then last thing I have is to just like be you. And I know you hear that a lot, but like me and Kaylin are like we're weird. Like, and like people like that. A lot of people like know my personality on the norm is weird. And I've gotten a ton of comments since I started this a year ago where people are like, you're just different on Instagram than you are in real life. And like girls and guys have told me that. They're like, why are you different when you talk on Instagram? And it's because I was for so long, like I was so scared to be weird. Like I didn't want people to be like, oh my gosh, is she like good or what? And like I always ask people, I'm like, do you think people can tell I'm being like sarcastic in that video? You're like, yes, Kelly, they can tell. And I'm like, okay, like I don't know, because I don't like, and just be you and don't worry about like what other people think. People are gonna like be able to feel your energy. So don't hold back from that. So that's what I have.
Perfect. You get to play popcorn and pass it off to somebody else. And whoever you pass it off to, if you want to piggyback off of something that Kelly said or just start your own topic, go right ahead.
Kaylin, go.
I knew
She
it.
knew that was
I
going.
knew it. Okay, so at first I was excited because you were giving me a really nice segue into what I was going to talk about. However, you talked about a lot of what I'm going to talk about, so that's okay. First off, like Janine said, I've had a day, so if I'm a little bit all over the place, I'm just going to apologize in advance. But I think that really what I wanted to talk to you guys about was, like Kelly said, just be you. Like when you start this, like on my old Instagram, because I started a new one for this, I did not get on and talk on my stories. Like that was not a thing. And I didn't share every aspect or close to of my life like I do now. And so that was really awkward at first. And so I found myself trying to like do what Janine does. Okay, well, Janine's fantastic at talking on her Instagram stories because she's done it forever. And when you don't know somebody too, I think that gives you a different level of thinking that, like now I know Janine well enough to know when her Instagram stories aren't perfect, but she posts them anyway. Or when she talks about something, I know I can tell because I know her personality, how she actually feels about it. And so I think I just then reminded myself like, no, Kaylin, just be you. Like, just be who you are. And I stopped replaying my Instagram stories over and over again and deleting them and recording them. Like, hi, this is my 672nd time trying to record this video. Like, no, just post the first one. Because if you mess up, or like right now, I'm probably not sounding as eloquent as I could, but like, that's my life. That's me today. I'm not wearing a bra. That's me today. Like, I don't know. I cannot tell you the amount of people that reach out to me and say, like today, I just posted on my story before this call about how I've been on an anxiety roller coaster and crying all day. I've probably had 8 people reach out to me already and tell me, thank you for sharing that. And thank you for reminding them that it's okay to have a bad day and that my vulnerability is inspiring to them. Like you are what gets people, not you trying to be somebody else. You are what gets people, even on your bad days. And obviously everything takes time, but part of me wishes I would have learned that earlier, because it wouldn't have made it so awkward and weird. Because the more that you think about it, it's not hard to be you. It's hard to pretend to be somebody else. It would have been harder for me to get on my Instagram story today and say, I've just had the best day and I've had all of my meals and my workout was fantastic. Like, no. Because you can tell that's fake. That's not me. I didn't eat until I wolfed something down right before this team call because I didn't realize I hadn't eaten. And I was blatantly honest that I've been a crying mess today. And it's okay. That's how you get people. Like, so just Don't try to be somebody else. Just try to be you. As awkward as it is, it's easier to be you than it is to not. So,
Kaylin, can I say something?
sure.
So I watched your stories, and obviously, like, I could tell, like, you were just like exhausted, like mentally, physically, emotionally, just everything. And I'm so happy that you shared that, because yes, it was real. But here's the thing, you guys. Kaylin's not living in that space. She's not sitting on her Instagram stories, bitching, complaining, living in negative Nancy land. She's saying how it is. She's being very blunt about her day, very blunt about her emotions, and moving on. And I think that that's something that's super powerful, because even if you just started, even if you have a super tiny following, you are impacting other people's lives. Other people are watching you. Other people are looking to you. Other people are looking up to you. You're inspiring people constantly. And if Kaylin would have just sat there and bitched, complained, moaned, but instead she said, this is how it is. I'm about to hop on a team call. I'm going to do my freaking best. I had a shit day. Tomorrow's a new day. And I had somebody who messaged me that today, like, pouring into yourself first is so important. And they got that from me. And you just never know who's watching. It was a complete stranger. I've actually never talked to her before. So just, if you're having a shit day, it's okay. It's okay to talk about it. It's not okay to live there. We had a guest speaker on our team call about a month ago. Her name was Olivia Schaefer, Liv Schaefer. And she really talked about, like, during this pandemic time of not unpacking your suitcase and living in this negative land. And you did a really, really good job of that today, Kaylin. So I just wanted to really highlight that. So
Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely hard, but I did try to make sure, like, the other thing that I thought about that I want to make sure to share is I could have very easily not shown up on my Instagram at all today. I could have posted my Nespresso boomerang from this morning and said, fuck the rest of today. Sorry, Instagram, but my mental health is more important. And it is. However, you don't want to lose that trust with people, which is why I made it a point to get on and say, this is why. No, you don't have to, I don't like that you always have to explain yourself. I don't think you always have to explain yourself. So please don't take that as what I'm saying, because you don't have to explain yourself to social media. However, I know that there are girls that watch to see if I've done my workout and watch to see if I've posted on Instagram because it helps them. So if there's nothing that I've posted, they're probably like, I wonder what Kaylin's doing. Or at least I hope they are. You know what I mean? So, like, just get on there and just say, hey, I've been with my family all day. Or, hey, I've been at work. Or, hey, I've had a shit day. And that's why I haven't been on social freaking media. People aren't going to argue with that. And so just, yeah, don't you dare lose their trust. I haven't been reading the chat, but that just stood out. Yes, Kelly. Like, I've heard that before. You don't want to lose their trust ever. So at least just give people what they want. They want to know what you're doing. And today I'm crying. So there you go. I'll pick somebody because I think that's it. I'll probably think of more things later, but that's good for now. Britt, go.
Shocker. Okay, well, I'm gonna maybe take it in like a little bit of a different direction, because I think that something that I have struggled with the most in this business is my mindset. And one of those really big things for me has been limiting beliefs, for sure. When I first started coaching, like, I really got into this business more just because I needed the extra accountability, and I was hoping, like, oh, well, maybe I'll make a little extra money on the side to go towards debt. And so I didn't come into this business with like super huge goals and aspirations. And throughout my last like year and a half of coaching, things have really changed for me. I have fallen in love with myself and my own health and wellness journey. And I have fallen in love with getting to help other women in theirs. And so it just came, like, this time came where that shift happened for me, where like this was real and this was something that I wanted. And I started to dream and I started to have these goals. And I think that, like, once that happened is when all of those things started flooding in, of like all of these like beliefs that I had that I didn't realize were there. And so it's been like months of honestly like watching people welcoming new coaches left and right and hitting these like insane Success Club numbers, which 90 whatever that is. Way more than anything I've seen, but still, nevertheless, it's like people hitting numbers that like I could only dream of hitting. And thinking to myself, like, what's different about them? Because I feel like I'm trying to do these things. I'm trying to find new coaches. I'm trying to build my team and I'm not being successful in it. And so I literally would look at these people and wonder, like, what is different about them? Like, they must have something that I don't. And the reality is that I was right, because they like in that thought, the underlying belief that I had was that I was never going to be there. Like I could never do that. I was never going to find my people that wanted to join my team. I was never going to hit those Success Club numbers. And so the underlying belief that I had was limiting my potential in this business. And it took like, honestly, it sounds so silly, but I think I told Kaylin this maybe like a couple weeks ago, but it took me literally going to like people that I have looked up to, like Janine or Mackenzie, or even like top coaches in this company. Like I went to Mackenzie Huntley's Instagram page a few weeks ago and scrolled literally all the way back to the beginning and saw, I mean, how ridiculous it is. Like when you look at where you started and recognize that like, you're an idiot and you've grown so much. But it took me literally scrolling back and seeing where she started and seeing that like her first post had like 12 likes. And for so long, I would look at that and see like, oh, well, she has over 20,000 followers. Like I'm never going to be there. I don't even know how to get there. And the reality is like, it takes work. Like it takes time, it takes work, and you have to believe that you're capable of it. And I know that like, we've probably all heard this before, because I know I've heard it on team calls before, but like whether you believe that you can or believe that you can't, you're right. And for so long, I didn't believe that I could. And so, yeah, I think that's just been the biggest mindset change that I have had. And I think that like for the longest time, like I maybe realized that disbelief that I was capable was there, but I didn't think that it was like affecting that much. Like I thought like, oh, I'm still showing up. I'm still doing all the things that I'm supposed to do to be successful in this business, like what successful means. But yet I wasn't like seeing the results that I wanted from it. And it's because like that belief, whether you think it does or not, is going to seep into every aspect of this business for you. It's going to affect the way you're inviting people. It's going to affect the conversations that you're having. It's going to affect like your confidence when you show up on social media. And so I don't know, like it's just going to show up in every single aspect of this business for you. And so I just think like one of the big things for me that has helped a ton is in the last like maybe 6 months, yes, personal development for sure. Like I've been really bad about it. I'm trying to get better about my personal development, but I've been reading Unfuck Yourself. Janine recommended it. But it talks about willingness and like, are you willing? And I think that kind of goes in line with like that disbelief of being capable of something. Like, are you really willing to change? Are you really willing to do these things in order to reach the goals that you have set for yourself? Because if you're not really willing, like you're not going to do it. So it's just a good question to ask yourself. But I recently, in the last like probably 6 months, I started doing daily affirmations, and I'm telling you guys, daily affirmations are huge. Like I have so many thoughts and like insecurities and things that like try to come and flood into my head on a daily basis. And I try to wake up every morning and fight those by writing truth about myself. And so I write it every morning. I oftentimes repeat it to myself throughout the day. Like when I'm in the middle of a hard workout and I think that I can't, I start saying things that I know that I can. And so I really encourage daily affirmations. Like the more you say it, the more you're going to believe it. And I know that sounds silly, but I'm living proof. And then, yeah, like I said, like it literally took me scrolling back on Mackenzie's Instagram and recognizing that she started exactly where I was, and she is where she is because she believed she could be, and she put in the work to get there. So that's what I got.
I love that. Would you feel comfortable sharing one of your affirmations as an example for us? You can say no.
No, that's great. I've been working on trying to develop them more because I know that like Josh Coates and stuff talks about like, because of this, I'm going to do this. But most of it is like, has been like really short affirmations. So like I will set a timer in the morning for like 5 minutes and I will just start like listing things off really, really quickly. And one of them is, I'm trying to think, I don't have my journal next to me. But a lot of them revolve around like, I am worthy, I am capable, like I've written things about like being the coach that people want to follow and like things like that.
There's no right or wrong way to do an affirmation, you guys. So just know that. And when you start, it's going to feel a little weird. Start today journal is gratitude. You start with gratitude. I'm thankful for my family, my health, my warm house, the sunshine. Like that's what I write for gratitude. 10 dreams you want to make happen in 10 years. I think Kaylin asked about the Start Today journal. So like 10 dreams in 10 years. So like superstar team, elite team, John and I build our own home. We buy a lake house. I visited 10 countries, 10 dreams in 10 years. Affirmations. So I do this all right before I start my invites. Affirmations, I'll just give you a quick example. I write 2 to 4, usually sometimes 5, just depending on what flows that day. So here's mine. Because I fuel my body with healthy, clean food, I have amazing results. Because I share about the business opportunity, I attract business builders. Because I'm a product of the products, I attract clients effortlessly, if I can speak. Because I show up authentically with positive energy, I attract like-minded women. So that's just kind of how I word mine personally.
Yeah. So I just found some that I wrote, I think like last week, but like one of the ones I wrote last week was, I am a leader of leaders. I show up daily as a leader. I'm trying to attract people like me and want to follow me.
Love it. Simple. And it's just fueling your mind with no limiting beliefs, with saying the truths that you want to live. Love it. So we have Sam and Megan who are left as well.
Sam, you're like right next to me, so you go.
And that's actually perfect because what I'm going to talk about is like right up the exact same vein. So I started coaching in like late January. And it was hard. I like Kaylin, like if you look at my normal Instagram, there's maybe like a post like every 6 months. I don't know what a story is. I don't know how many times I texted Janine and was like, what is this app that I'm supposed to be doing? And how do I get this text on this piece, on this picture? Like it was awful. But what I learned really early on was that you have to trust the process. It's so exhausting and annoying and frustrating at times when you're like sending out invites and posting and no one's commenting or no one's liking or no one's like how Kelly said, like 4 people post on a poll, or it's all like people that are just trying to get you to follow them and to care less about what you're talking about. But what I always reminded myself of was that I was that person on the other side. Like Janine, thankfully, relentlessly like came after me for like 6 months. And I wanted it so bad, but I was not ready. I had a lot going on at the end of last year. And I wasn't ready, but I knew that I was getting to the point of being ready. So thankfully, every time that I would comment or I would say something on one of her polls or something like that, she would reach out. And every time it was, that flower is now growing. The seed has been planted, the flower is growing. So that's partially part of it. And then also something that's been really helpful for me is focusing on my why. So when I first started this, I like scoffed at the idea of a why. Like, okay, I'm just here to, like Britt said, make money, do my thing, like just kind of like as this side hustle. But then the more that I really thought about it, the more I realized why I was actually doing this. Like this time last year, I wasn't unhappy, but I was not excited about like getting up, going to work. I love my job, but I'm a social worker, so it can be really negative at times. I work with kids who have a lot of struggles. So what I started doing was when I would have a lot of self-doubt, when I would start almost like saying, Sam, just give up, just quit. Like, this is a waste of your time. I would think back to those mornings and be like, when was the last time you had one of those? And I haven't had one this year. I mean, this year has been difficult, of course, but I haven't had one where I'm like, I just don't want to really do anything today. So reminding myself of that, and what I've actually noticed is by focusing on the why, that why is growing. So now I have that piece of where I was a year ago. Now I have like my boot campers reaching out to me. I remember there was a day that I was like, oh, I just can't do this. Like, no one's responding. This is so stupid. And then a girl who I'd seen her at like a work party or something, and she was like, I'm so excited. I saw that you're becoming a coach. Like, please reach out to me. And I did. And then I didn't hear from her for like a month and a half. And I was like, okay, cool. Then she responded with like, I kid you not, like an Instagram DM like this long explaining, this is why I haven't this is why I haven't responded to you. I've really been struggling with my weight for so long, and I'm really scared to do this. And then that, like, again, it clicked. Like, you plant a seed, you let it grow. If you're showing up consistently, you're reaching out, like, you kind of get a feeling from someone if they're thinking about it, and you just keep following up with that person. I forget what I started with, but trust the process and focus on your why. Like, those have been two really, really big things for me. And then it helps. What I've really noticed in the past, I would say even just like 2 weeks, is now I'm really starting to feel comfortable. Like, I'm being way more dumb on my stories than I used to be. I feel more comfortable if I do something a little bit more like that I would normally just delete off. But so it's also kind of like trust your process. Like, you're going to grow. You're going to start out, you're going to follow what Janine does. You're going to follow what Kelly does. Like, they're your coaches, or they're just people that have been doing this longer, but you start to figure it out, and you start to figure out like what you can bring to the table. Good job, Nikki. You shouldn't follow Kelly. So just kind of trust it, and don't think that just because there isn't something happening right off the bat that it's not going to work, because people are seeing you. And I know everyone says that, but it is actually true. I don't know how many times I've messaged a girl and she's like, oh my God, I love your videos. I worked out because of you. Like, it happens all the time. And be ready for some people to just not be as nice. Like today I was inviting people, and there was this one girl, she was like super cute, and I was like, okay, I'm so excited. Like, I think she's going to want to do this. And then I kid you not, I'm still inviting, and she responds back just no, capital letters. And I was like, okay, well, thanks for responding. Correct, Janine. Exactly. I was like, cool. So trust the process, trust yourself, and really fall back on that why. Like, if you don't have your why yet, think about it. Why did you get into this? And I mean, yes, the money's great, but like, what's past that? If I was just doing this for commission and all that, like I would have already quit. But it's so much more. So ask yourself what that's about. And then once you do start getting boot campers, I mean, it gets really easy to find your why. So Kaylin, you'd like to chime in? Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Just one thing that I wanted to remind you guys of really quickly too, that Sam is talking about, is you are going to have people reach out to you that are going to be rude. And I've had people reach out to me that do other like MLM kind of things that are like, this is the shittiest invite I've ever read. This is not how you get people. And they're mean. But honestly, one of the things that I have learned, I mean, obviously rejection and like people saying no is hard, but one of the things I've learned is I've kind of taken my ability to now remove the emotion from that and be like, okay, well, see ya. Like in some way, I've also transformed that into like my personal life. I'm very sensitive and very defensive. And so if I have done something like cooked Trevor dinner, Trevor's very honest and I'm a good cook, so don't think I'm not, but he will say like, it's good, but like next time let's do this. And in my head, I think this is the shittiest meal I've ever fucking made. I'm just going to leave. Like, and I get so worked up and half the time it causes an argument. Now I take that to mean, okay, whatever. Glad you didn't think it was 100%, but I did. Like, and I don't get so upset. I don't know if that was like the greatest example, but learning to take the emotion out of somebody rejecting your invite. If you're like me at all, it also works in your personal life that is their opinion. That is okay. That is not a direct, like, somebody saying no to my invite doesn't mean I'm a shitty person and I'm not inspiring 1,000 other people. That's excessive. I have like 600 followers, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like, just, I'm done.
No, I totally get what you're saying. And I think that you guys have piggybacked off of each other and made a really good point. And I say it all the time for new coaches, like go for no. And it's a good thing to go for no. Because at some point they're probably going to come around. And when you take the emotion out of it, like you just have more fun with this business. And again, this whole business trickles into like every aspect of your life. Like, and it just impacts it in such a cool way. And I know that Kaylin has had this experience and Sam's fiance has made comments about her new bod looking all fine, but like the people around you start to notice things and it's like, whoa, like, because I decided to pour into me first. I decided to step out of my comfort zone. It's trickling into every other area. And Sam, I just want to thank you for being super vulnerable, for sharing where you were a year ago compared to where you are now and everything that you went through in 2020. And all I have to say is I'm picturing right now, because I've learned to dream and I've learned to visualize and I've learned to like look out into the future. A year from now, us having like another roundtable call and all of you guys being a year further into your business and looking back from where you are today to where you will be in a year. And it just like, gives me all the feels. I freaking love it. So Sam, if you're good, we are on to Megan.
Yeah, go Megan.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, and you look super cute.
Thanks. Funny fact, this is a short segue. One of my old man coworkers today was like looking at me and he's like, I don't know what's different about you, but you look very nice today. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back to my office now. Creeper. But anyway, so I kind of want to just start off with leading in. I so feel what you said, Britt, that like I have felt the exact same way. And especially when I first started, and I'm still new, people, like new, okay? So but how that affected me in the very beginning stages of reaching out to people, inviting and selecting the people that I'm following and that I want to follow me back has made a huge impact. And what I have come to realize in such a short time, it's important to really focus on who you are following and who you want to follow you back. Honestly, in the beginning, I would do like what Kelly said, like go to my favorite person and I would just go down the line, follow, 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 follow. And yeah, that's great. That's what we're supposed to do. But I was not taking the time to really look at those girls and see, one, if I was even compatible with them or if we had anything in common whatsoever. And honestly, I think that's why I got ghosted. I got ghosted. People like hardcore, no response whatsoever for a long time. So I switched that up a lot and I've really targeted the people that I'm following. And I really have started to take the time to, when I follow this group of people, I go through my feed and the things that pop up first, and I really like look at what they have to say and I look at their pictures and be like, okay, like I have a lot in common with this person, and I'll either comment on their picture or I'll direct message them, and that has worked way better for me. I might not always follow 150 people every day or more. I might make it 50, but those 50 people are 50 people that I'm genuinely interested in and really like could see how like growing a team with them and actually connecting them. And in the beginning I didn't realize how important that was. I really just thought, well, this is what I'm supposed to do and I need the numbers. Well, I'm never going to get a solid team. I'm never going to get the people who want to stay and want to do this like all of us. So that's something that I kind of learned quickly. And right now, like my target audience, I kind of like pick people with pets because I have pets, and new moms or moms to be because I can relate to that. So it's really important. Don't get so focused on the number and the I have to do this, 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 and this, because sometimes you have to skew and make it work for you. And that's the best part about this business is that whatever worked for Kelly or Janine, like it might not work for me, but that's why we just have to figure out what does work for us. And this is something I have found that has really worked for me. And like I said, I'm still new and I still got a lot to learn, but for other people who are struggling with that, like don't focus so hard on like this is exactly what I have to do and I have to do this many number of times a day. Focus on quality, not quantity. So
that's really good advice, Megan. And yeah, focus on quality, not quantity. And you guys, there are so many elite and top coaches who have gotten there with less than 10K on Instagram. I know everyone thinks this 10K is like the magical number because you get to swipe up. It's not. Okay, there's like the story and the saying, I've heard it from Ashley Molstead, who's a top coach through Beachbody, and it's serve the people at your table. If you're having a dinner party and you put it out on social media, it's like hanging up a flyer on a tree, like, hey, come over, I'm having a dinner party. You're on a walk, you see your friend's flyer, your neighbor's flyer, and you're like, oh, that's nice. Like, you know, Megan's having a dinner party. I'm probably not going to go. But if Megan directly reaches out to me, I'm way more likely to go. And I think what she's saying too is like when you're mass following people, and I probably take it for granted that I just assume that people know how to like judge a book by their cover, by their profile picture. Cause for me, I don't think I can necessarily say I'm a newlywed anymore. I'm coming up on 2 years, but I look for like wedding pictures, like as like their little thing. And like, those are the people who I target. I'm like, boom, boom, boom. Oh, engagement pictures. Got him. Going. Or like new moms. Cause oh Lord help me. I'm going to be there sooner rather than later, I'm sure. But I take for granted that newer coaches don't know that. And they're just like, oh my God, must mass follow all the people. And that's not the case. You've kind of got to fine tune that as you go to really find your tribe. And I'm so happy that you figured that out so early in your coaching journey, and that you can really tailor your conversations to find your tribe and to find the other Megans, because that's what makes this business so fun, is finding the people who you want to work with. And that took me a long time in this business. It took me a while. I mean, you guys are all like my friends and my family, like legitimately. I talk to you guys way more than I talk to like anybody else. And that speaks volumes, but it took me a really long time to find my people. So the fact that you have Megan sitting here right now, who's been a coach for what, 2 months, like saying that she's kind of fine-tuned this, that speaks volumes, and really absorb that, you guys. Does anybody have any kind of last thoughts? We took almost a whole hour. This was, I like don't want this call to end. It was so good.
Can I just kind of off of what Megan was saying, I think it's also good to kind of ask yourself, like, what can you bring to attract your tribe? Like, what makes you different from that other Beachbody coach that reached out to them like 2 days ago? So like Janine talks a lot about teaching. I try to bring in mental health because I'm a social worker. So then like I've gotten a lot of followers through like hashtags about like help the helper, or that was kind of like a little series that I did for a little bit. Then Corona happened and that kind of fell off. But so I found that helpful, because then I have a lot of social workers or therapists who like we start conversations. So kind of asking like how you can tailor some of your stuff to your, I'm going to butcher this word, your niche, whatever the hell it's called. Like that can be really helpful too, to make you a little bit different from someone else. So
yeah, definitely. You really want something, you know, that just makes you different. And it's okay if you think you're boring. It's okay if you think you're vanilla, but other people will relate to you. I said that on Monday. I think I'm the most vanilla person in the world, but I relate to a lot of other vanilla people in the world. So.
And it doesn't, when they're talking about something that makes you you, like obviously both of them focus on their occupation. My job's like, meh. But one thing that makes me is like my autoimmune. And unfortunately, my autoimmune is one that affects me physically. And so a lot of the people that I get following me are just not are not physically able to work out. So that's not necessarily a market, but that's not the point. The point is that I am somebody who's putting that out there and still doing those things and can share, like, you know, it took 7 years to find a diagnosis. These are the things I tried. Mention this to your doctor. Like, here's some moves you can do, modifying them. And just, I don't know, even though they may not be like a monetary market, you're inspiring somebody. And that's the whole point of this. So just keep that in mind as well.
Straight fire, you guys. I am so proud. Kelly, you just unmuted yourself. What would
Yeah,
you say?
I have one final thought. Janine was going to end on the question, if you could have known one thing, like when you first started being a coach, but I know we're trying to be mindful of time. So one thing you wish you would have known from the beginning, there's like 50 things I wish I would have known, but the one thing that I would say is like what they said earlier, don't compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter, whatever. Chapter 49 or whatever, because we all start from ground one. And the only way you're going to get better at anything, whether it's posting to your stories, whether it's posting a picture, whether it's messing with the lighting on your pictures, whether it's is to practice and to do it. So you're going to do it, and it's going to be freaking silly, and it's going to be dorky at first, but that's how you learn and that's how you grow. And we all start at chapter 1. So you're not behind the game. You're just getting started with your journey. So don't like compare yourself to
I love
theirs.
it. Thank you for reminding me. We'll do a rapid fire. So Kelly's, what she would have known when she first started is don't compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 1,000,000. Okay. Kaylin, what's yours?
Yikes. Honestly, what I talked about was kind of mine. That my one thing I would have known, stop trying to be like somebody else and literally just be you in front of a camera. Like, it's awkward and weird, but just literally just be you.
Love it. Sam, what's yours?
Do personal development, read and listen.
Yes, I put that off for way too long in my business and I laughed at it. Now I like cannot get enough. I listen to audiobooks while I'm showering. Is that
Right.
weird? Probably.
I feel like people think it's like self-helpy and like people judge it, but just do it. It makes it so much friggin' better.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Britt, what's yours?
I think mine would be like, don't be afraid to ask for help. Like, we are all here to support each other. And like, if there's something that you're having a hard time with, like Kelly's amazing at graphics. I literally just messaged her and said, can you send me your graphics for like advertising your boot camp? Because it would take me forever to do it. It's like, this business doesn't have to be as hard as you make it, and just don't be afraid to ask for help.
I asked Kaylin for help on my comments, for my captions. Like, I'm the leader of this team. Oh, like we're all a family. We all work together. It's awesome. Megan, what's one thing you would have known right when you were first started?
Definitely what both Kaylin and Britt said, but also I wish I would have just jumped 2 feet first when I very first hit Kelly up about this, because that's like one of my biggest regrets. How far I would be right now, but it's all good.
God, I love it. Like not getting started sooner. Ah, you guys are the best. Thank you so, so, so much. The 5 fabulous gals who shared. I took a full page of notes. All right, I'm going to stop the recording.